A new update is on its way to Rise of Kingdoms, bringing a new alliance-based event and changes to armaments, and they definitely weren't the changes I was expecting. So stick around in this video for a breakdown of the upcoming update, Gunning for the Top. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming, and in today's video we're going to review these patch notes which are visible in the in-game forum but haven't, at the time of this recording anyways, been sent out in a mail to players yet. So let's start from the top and then we'll react. Governors, get ready for a new way to compete with other alliances to work... Wait a minute. This totally breaks the line of the page. Hello, formatting. Work together to complete quests and showcase the glory and might of your alliance. Okay. So there's an alliance-based event. You can be signed up for this event by your alliance. The event is only open to alliances in the Season of Conquest. So KVK Season 4 and beyond. You can earn points for your alliance during this event by accepting, completing, and turning in quests. Increasing your alliance's total points will increase your alliance event level and unlock new rewards. So let me tell you something. Rise of Kingdoms is actually the only game in this genre that I have seen that doesn't have this style of event. So I'm not too surprised that they're doing this here. And I'll tell you about some other ways I've seen this done in just a minute. Now, this event is divided into 5 leagues. The first time you take part in this event, all alliances will be placed in the Fearless Bronze League by default. All alliances in the same league will be randomly formed into groups. Based on your ranking within your group, you may be promoted, relegated, or remain in the same league after the competition ends. The higher your league, the better rewards, though. Note that this is a recurring event. Check the event calendar to stay informed of when it's happening. Okay, so let me explain what's going on here and give you some twists that I think they might do based on the many games that I've seen do this sort of a thing, which is that you're basically in one of 5 leagues with your alliance. Now, based on doing a series of quests that they'll give, which could be related to resource gathering or barbarian hunting or barbarian force, often in this style of event, what I've seen is sort of like a quest board. Think of like dozens of squares with different quests represented, and you pick which quests you want to do. That's the way I've seen it done in other games. They could just have static quests that everybody can do, and you basically complete quests to get points. Often what spending games will do, free-to-play, pay-to-win games, is they'll have a quest that shows up where it's like, spend a bunch of money in the game to get the most quest points possible. And typically what they'll also do for this style of thing, I'm not saying Rise of Kingdoms is doing this, I'm just saying what I've seen. But what they'll do is they'll limit the total number of quests you can do. So you have to pick the quests that give the most points in order to give your alliance the most possible score. Now, Rise of Kingdoms may or may not do that, but you'll be battling not only within one of 5 leagues, but within your league, you get put in a group. And the top performers in your group get promoted. The worst performer or performers get demoted down a league. And if you're in the middle, you stay in that same league. That's what I'm seeing here. So the goal, theoretically, is to get to the highest league for the best prizes. But what will it take to do that? I don't know yet. It could be some amount of spending is really the key. It could also be that just activity is absolutely critical. There's a huge range of what the developers might do there. I actually generally think these style of events can be fun. It all depends on how much emphasis is going to go into spending versus doing other things that everybody can do. Okay, so is it based purely on activity, or is there a pay-to-win component? From there, let's talk about the next thing, the formation system optimization. Oh, man. There's a lot to say here. The thing that I would love to see at the start of any update to the formation system is something that says, we've heard your feedback regarding X, Y, and Z with the formation system. These things are not being addressed in this update, or they are being addressed in this update, or whatever the developers are doing or not doing, just to let us know, like, hey, we heard your feedback and these things are coming, or these are not included here. Because let me just read this and you'll see why I'm saying this. Travel. Added the ability to travel with gems. Once you've used all your chances to travel using action points, you can now spend gems to travel up to 200 additional times per day. So this is a pay-to-win mechanic on the formation system, which already had a very heavy pay-to-win slant. let me tell you, I have been buying the armament bundle almost every single day. I've now stopped because I have too many gems. And as a mid-high spender in this game, I spend to have gems, and then I spend the gems in events. And if I need more gems, I'll spend more. But I peel back my spending when I have more than enough gems, which I have now. But my account where I have been buying these bundles is just many stats ahead. I mean, on each March, I've got probably, I don't know, I could do the math here, probably between 10 to 12% more stats easily in total compared to my restart account. My restart account was once considered to be like a really kind of stacked account for what it is at low spending. But now I have so many more stats on armaments and spending accounts. I'm actually very much falling behind on my restart account because I'm not spending on armaments. So all that to say, this is an additional pay-to-win mechanic for armaments. Now, did I want to travel more? I mean, we'll cover that in a second. Added new windfalls. Every time you travel, you have a chance to earn luck. The higher your luck, the higher your chance of encountering a windfall when you travel. There's a limit to how much luck you can earn a day, and your luck resets each day. So this is a pity mechanic, and it's a daily pity mechanic. Now, many games use pity mechanics. To give you an example, I played a lot of Hearthstone, and when you played Hearthstone, this is a card game, and you had to collect cards, and you'd open packs to collect these cards. The longer you went without getting a legendary, which was the highest rarity at the time I was playing, the more chance you had of getting a legendary. So the worse you were doing, the higher your chances became of getting a legendary. A pity system is what's that called. And here they're calling it windfalls. A windfall is like a huge boon or bounty or gain. That's kind of what that word means. And in this instance, you earn luck, and your luck determines your chance of getting one of these huge rewards. How huge is this reward? Am I still getting triple stat siege? If I get troop load on an otherwise good armament, does the windfall let me fix that? I don't know what windfalls do yet, but there's a lot of things that I would like addressed on armaments that I don't yet see here. The developers have even said, like, these are things we're thinking about. So let's just keep going for now. They've improved the description of the rules for traveling with recommended commanders. And then, okay, improve the description. Okay, I would like to know what I'm getting by using a recommended commander. Hopefully they explain that. Armaments. Optimized the armament icons. Armament icons now display applicable formations. Okay, that's sort of helpful. Optimize the display of armaments in your inventory. Added formation effects to the inventory interface. Optimized interface or armament locking. You can now lock armaments from your inventory. I mean, that's cool. It doesn't really make sense that you had to go into the screen where you can change your armaments to lock one. And optimized armament recycling. You can now recycle an armament, or rather, recycling an armament requires authentication with a secondary password. No, I don't want to do that. I guess what they're trying to do is to prevent you from recycling a really good armament and then complaining to support that, like, I need this armament back. I don't know. I have to recycle so many armaments every day. I don't want to have to authenticate every time I do this. I hope that that is optional. Optimized inscriptions added more detailed rules for inscriptions. Okay, so I think when they say added more detailed rules, here's what they mean. Unless they're changing the rules, but I think they're just adding descriptions. And the way that inscribing works is counterintuitive to me anyways. You don't replace one inscription with another on an armament. You replace all inscriptions on an armament with the new inscription that you're putting on there. Why is that relevant? If you get so lucky as to have a legendary with 2 inscriptions on it, and I've spent almost $1,500, I haven't gotten one of those yet, but if you had a legendary that came with 2 inscriptions and you wanted to put a better inscription on there, well, too bad. It's going to get rid of both of the existing inscriptions to put on the new one. Okay, now only legendaries can have 2 inscriptions, and epic can only have 1 inscription. Most will, of course, have 0 inscriptions. And as I said, I have gotten 0 legendary armaments with 2 inscriptions, and I've spent about $1,500 almost on armaments in Rise of Kingdoms. We'd love to hear what you think about this update. If you complete the feedback form, you'll actually receive a gift 5 days following the update. Omniarch says, adding a new mechanic to your mechanic. Classic Lilith formations are a disaster. Please remove it or reconsider. So, Yeah. Making it so you can spend gems is obviously a pay-to-win mechanic. And am I excited at this moment to pay, I don't know how many gems, for a 15,000 gold token? Not particularly. So I get that you're not doing it for the gold token. You're doing it for the other things. But, you know, if I were to make some very fast, easy improvements to the sort of armament system, I would say that they should dramatically increase the resource rewards when you're spending AP and looks like gems. That would be really nice. Making it so that you have any element of control over like what stats you're getting would be kind of amazing. I guess what I'm trying to say, if I key back to what I said earlier, is that it would be really nice if there was a message in here that's like, this is the beginning of changes that we're making to the armaments and inscriptions. We've heard your feedback and there's more coming. It'd be nice to know that that's true. I think that's still true. But because they don't mention it here, it's like, wait a minute. This does not address my concerns for the armament system. Like, yes, they're adding a bad luck protection sort of a mechanic with windfalls, but now I just have to do it with gems in order to keep up with the Joneses, right? Let me illustrate the challenge I'm experiencing with the randomness in the formation system with my wall of shame. My wall of shame has more than 7.5% of each stat: attack, defense, and health for siege units, and I don't even have 4 armaments on here yet. Okay? So I have gotten really good armament, lucky, but rolled triple stat siege, so unlucky, they're miserable. And I feel like updates to the armaments and formation system, I would love if they address this. Because here you can see Onslaught, 7.5, 7.7, 7.7. I mean, if I look at one of my best marches, okay, for a unit that I really care about, what do I have? I have 4.6, 4, and 8.5, and 1.5% all damage, but I actually have worse stats for troops I care about. And that's with 3 armaments on my siege units. That's such a disaster. I didn't look at how bad that was till this video. Here's my archers, 8.5, 5.6, 8.8. All right, so my archers are good. I have robust and shielded. Great. It's better than my 3 armament siege guy over here. Geez, what about my infantry? 6.9, 4.7, 3.2 robust and vitality, and 0.6 all damage. Yeah, so I have better siege stats with 3 armaments than I have on my most important troop type where I want to rally and garrison. And the problem here is randomness. And this is the challenge I experienced with the crafting system, where there is an easy solution, which is that when you're refining, give a % of the boost that you would get from the stats you'd gain from a special talent. So if I'm 50% of the way to a special talent, just give me 50% of the stats. Now you've removed the majority of the bad randomness, because at least I'm getting stats as I go, as opposed to literally getting nothing. So I don't know. I'm not trying to be complainy, but when we get back to the randomness of armaments here, I guess all this to say that while a windfall system, at least it's like let's call it what it is. It's a pity system where when you're unlucky for long enough, you'll eventually get lucky. Like, that's cool, but it still isn't addressing the main problem, which I think is so beautifully illustrated by my wall of shame, which is that somehow with 3 armaments for siege at $1,500 spent, I've got better results than I do for infantry, which is where I rally and garrison, right? So if we could control for some amount of the randomness or reduce the randomness in the armament and inscription system, I think it would go a long way. In the meantime, the best thing you can do to protect yourself is to only pick a formation when you're getting armament choice chests that you have 3 troop types you care about: infantry, archers, and cavalry. I suppose alternatively, if they add powerful siege units where I want to use wedge formation, I will be a god. I will have the best of the best. Maybe not the best of the best, but still, I'll be on my way to something really good. What happens if I put this... let me find my best final siege armament here. For those that didn't know, you actually can do a sort here. Sort by siege attack, siege unit, defense, and health. And now it's going to bubble to the top, some of the best ones. So 2.5, 1.6. That's okay. 2.1, 2.2, pacifier, damage to barbarians. Dude, even with siege armaments, I'm getting wrecked. That's actually kind of funny. Siege, 2%. So I actually have probably already recycled better siege armaments. It's bubbled my best ones to the top. 2.4 and 1.6. I suppose I go for the barbarian stats over here because technically it's more. 0.1%. Dude, it even has siege march speed. What the heck? Sure, we equip it like that. So now you can see that obviously my siege march is not only better than all my other marches, but it's even better at hitting barbarians too. If you are looking for more information about armaments in the formation system and why I'd recommend wedge formation over every other formation in the game, check out the card that'll be in the end screen in just a second. Alternatively, if you'd just like some overall guidance for the formation system, card will be up over here in just a second.